Hey, I'm Jace Myron with Iron Ridge Gear. This is a new company I decided to start, just strictly out of my passion for hunting. I have loved hunting since I could remember. I mean, my dad has told me stories of when I was 3 years old, crawling out of my bed at 5 a.m. to go turn on the outdoor channel and watch hunting all morning. So I guess this company just kind of stems from just the love of the outdoors. And currently, I am now in the sampling process with some gear. We're going to start small and see where we go from there, but in the meantime, I figure why not film some videos. I have a bear hunt here, which is a backpack archery bear hunt it's in 5 days. So I'm going to do a little pack dump here and kind of go over all my gear. All right. So, like I said, this is going to be an archery backpack hunt. The bow of choice for me this year is the Matthews Lift X 33. I got it in 80-pound mods, 80% let off. I am running the dialed proof, the Ultra Rest Integrate R2. Got Conquest stabilizers, the 12 in the front, 8 in the back. I'm running 3 ounces in the back, 2 in the front. Let's see, I've got Swatch bowstrings on here. And then my arrow setup is the new Easton 5.0 in a 250 spine. And then I'm going to be running the Sever 1.5s. I used these last year on my mule deer, and I love them. So I'm just going to stick with what works for me. And yeah, so that's kind of my gist for my archery setup. And then we'll get into the pack here. So since I have this stuff out, I got all the clothes that I'm mainly going to be wearing on this hunt just tucked in my bow case for when we get out there. And on this hunt, I am running a few different companies, from ones that I've liked, and just kind of testing out their gear and using more of the stuff that I've liked from certain companies and then from other companies, kind of tailoring that to what I really want in my gear for Iron Ridge. So for pants, I am going to be running the Born Primitive, the Frontier Light. They make a great pant. It's very comfortable. Few things that I would personally like to see change on these pants, but that's part of why I'm wearing them. So then I'm going to be running just some standard First Light gaiters. It's going to be wet up there. There's apparently still snow, so we're going to be seeing how that goes. And then I am running the merino hoodie from Go Hunt. And Go Hunt stuff has fit me very well. I like the guys over at Go Hunt very much, so I'll be running that. And then for socks, I am running the, honestly, I can't even remember the name of these ones. They're the Shields brand socks. They are for lightweight. I believe they're the lightweight merino socks for hiking. They worked well for me last year when I was hiking out in some Badlands type country. So I am going to be taking them on this hunt. And then you got to have orange. So I just got my orange vest. So moving over to my pack and optics, I am using a Mystery Ranch Beartooth 80. It's been a great pack for me. I had the Sawtooth 45 bag on here last year, and I packed out my mule deer in one trip by myself. It held up great. The load felt great. So just kind of stuck with what I know. For optics, I am running a Vortex Pro vinyl harness with some marsupial pockets. The Crossfire HD 1400 rangefinder. And then I have the Viper 10x42s. I got the AZAC vinyl clamp on here, so it can just pop right on my tripod. I don't have to worry about it. It's easier to glass with for me. For a spotting scope, I went with a 65mm, the Viper, and then the S1 by MagView for digiscoping. For my tripod, I went with the Vestigo 234CB from Vanguard. It's lightweight, it extends pretty well. I've just been a big fan of it for glassing, and especially when you've only used really cheap, inexpensive tripods, this is a big upgrade for me. So that's kind of my pack and optics. And then before I go into everything, so what's in my top lid, here I've got all my electronics, my my GPS SOS button, my SAT texting device, power banks. I've got my water supplies in here, so I have a Hydro Pack 6-liter to be able just to grab water, bring up to camp, have for a day or two. We're going to be constantly on the move, so we'll see if that gets used as much as I think it will. Purification tablets, you know, it's going to be a lot of mountain runoff, so I'm not too terribly worried, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And then I've got just kind of a little water filtration system, so I have 3 ways technically to purify if I end up boiling as well. Got my med kit, which has just about everything you need: Tylenol, Band-Aids, trauma, quick clot, all that stuff. Just a few miscellaneous things, some Ignite, hand warmers and foot warmers if I need be. I have the Peak titanium spork for my meals, pack fly, then a few miscellaneous items like toothbrush, contact case that I broke in half because I only have to wear one contact, so why bring a whole case when I only need half of it? A little bit of solution, and then just flagging tape and electrical tape for putting tags on, things like that. Some paracord just in case, and a saw. And then I also have an extra charger in here for miscellaneous items, and a predator call, being that fawns should be dropping around that time, and you never know what bears are going to do. I figure bringing a hand call might be a game changer for us. So we've got that. All right, moving on to the front pocket. Typically I'd have like my rain gear and stuff like that in here. I have the footprint for my Peaks TP. I did end up getting one of those, spending a bit of a pretty penny on that, but I do think it was well worth it. It's just quick to set up and pretty much set up anywhere. And then I have another little stowaway bag, toilet paper, wet wipes, and Lord, I'm just praying that I brought enough for that. I got just some kind of mechanic type gloves, a Go Hunt waffle beanie, some other miscellaneous items, just some hydration powder from Rise, and then I got a solar panel from Goal Zero, the Nomad 5. Just figure if we're going to be out there for a while and running off of Go Hunt maps and things and digiscoping, it's going to eat up the battery, and then trying to film it. So having a solar panel and 2 power banks, I figure, was a huge deal. And then I just got a pair of warmer gloves. They're just some cheap gloves that I found when I'm sitting in a tree stand. They keep my hands decently warm and they're not overly clunky. So I got 2 sets of gloves there. And that's it for the front of my pack. And then we'll kind of break down, I guess, what's on the inside of that. I have an extra pair of my hiking socks, and then I brought a pair of wool socks just in case. I have an extra pair of underwear. I was waiting on some different ones, but these are the ones I have, so I'm going to use. And then I have these Takari. They're not zip-ons, they're just pull-ons. Base layer leggings, but I found they are really warm. They work well. I've done some shed hunting here in North Dakota, and it gets cold here. So these worked really well under just kind of a regular pant, nothing insulated. So I am a big fan of these. And then kind of a game time decision if I bring a lighter pair just in case, because you never know what the weather's going to do, and maybe you want to keep two on, maybe you just want the one. But a lot of this is going to end up being a game time decision on what I bring when I actually leave. So we just kind of have to wait and see for that. In this next pocket, I have my kill kit and some contractor bags in case we have to submerge some meat in creeks. Got kind of a mix of game bags. I am bringing 2 knives. I have the Outdoor Edge replaceable blades, the razor lights. I have the 3.5, which I'm keeping in my kill kit. And then I have the 3, which is staying in my vinyl harness. And then I have my tag in here and game bags. So that's kind of the gist of what's everything in my pockets of the bags. And then I can kind of get into the other gear that I'll be running. Okay, so for my camp, I will be running, like I said earlier, I have the Peaks footprint on the front, that front pocket. I figure it could kind of double as a tarp if we don't just use the tent, because that's the one nice thing about the shelter I chose, the Peaks Solace 4 teepee. You can just glass out of it. You can set that up on a glassing knob, kind of wherever. You can sit there out of the elements, but I figure if we're in a quick pinch, we can just throw up and use the footprint as a tarp. And then just a Climate Static V sleeping pad and a Climate pillow, the extra large pillow. I figure why not be comfortable back there. And then I have an Ozark Trail mummy sleeping bag. So 30 degree, it packs down really well. It was fairly cheap, so I just kind of picked this up, been using it, it works for me. I'm a bit of a hot sleeper, so I figure a 30 degree would be good enough for me because I have extra layers if need be. And I'd rather bundle up than be too warm out there. So for camp, that is about all I got. I'll be running the Jetboil Flash. I'm bringing an extra fuel canister as well. I am going to be rehydrating a lot of meals. And then clothing wise, I kind of went over my day-to-day, but some layering stuff I'm bringing. I have some cheaper rain gear. This coat really isn't a rain jacket, but I have used it as one, and it's worked very well for that, so I just decided to keep it up. It's First Light jacket. I believe it's the Corrugate Guide. It's fairly waterproof. It works for me, and I figure if it does start dumping on us and we have to set up shelter, it doesn't take too long to set the Peaks teepee up, so I can throw this stuff on. The rain pants, if I need to cross a creek, I have the gaiters, I can throw the rain pants on over it, and then I'm pretty much in waders, I feel like. So that is what I'm using for a rain setup. For some extra layers, I have this First Light Klein hoodie. Use this quite a bit. It's just a nice extra layer, especially to put over that merino. And maybe overkill or not to bring 2 of basically the same thing, just one hooded, one not. But I figure if I'm really in a pinch, I can throw on one or the other. This is the Shields Outfitter. It's another fleece type layer, just a 1/4 zip, so if I don't feel that hoodie. And I mainly wanted to be in solid colors because of the tick. I have sprayed everything down in permethrin the best I could, so we'll see how that goes. But they're going to be a problem out there. And then for jacket. It is another Shields outfitter. It's a puffer. It's like a synthetic down. It's not too crazy heavy. And that's kind of it for clothing, other than what I have for my boots. So I got these Zamberlan Baltoro lights about a year ago. They have been phenomenal for me. Even in the cold North Dakota weather, I throw a certain pair of socks on under these, and I can wear these year round. They're a stiffer boot, and for me it's kind of nice. And then I just have some extra insoles in here. And really that's it for my pack. I mean, I'll be bringing a Nalgene and a bladder along as well. But while packing everything in here, I have already popped a bladder, so I'm kind of debating on that now. And then I just have a cheap pair of trekking poles. But really that's it. We leave here in 5 days, and then we go hike in. So it is going to be an adventure. It's going to be tough work, and hopefully we get to bring you a film of us putting a couple bears on the ground. So if you guys want to keep following along and keep watching, that'd be great. I'm really hoping to grow something here with Iron Ridge. I